care. Like, whatever jungler they pick, Long is going to do well. They do, actually. I got proven wrong.
Could be the Baron side as well. I mean, we won't... Well, it's a flex pick, so that's your saving grace, right?
It probably isn't, because Long is playing the Jax, and it's not a unique pick. He played it before, and he absolutely dominated on it.
Well, there we go.
Yeah. So interesting how Nova prioritizes the Jax. They really, really wanted to get the Jax, which is a late-game scaling champion. Yuumi is also open, Brandon. The question is, when you're Leviathan, can you give away Jax and Yuumi? I don't think so.
Yeah, I think Leviathan definitely need to make a decision right now. The Corki comes through first, but they still do have that one more pick. So Yuumi potentially taken away, but you still have the Lulu, right? There are still other options if you really want an enchanter to go with the Jax.
Like, that's the thing, you just can't outdraft Nova, it feels like. They're so good at so many different kinds of picks. Like, you gotta create your own kind of draft. Leviathan has to play to their strengths, they have to funnel into the jungler as well, they have to put Ant-Rock on the tanks. So let's see what they actually pick second. Are they gonna leave the Yuumi open? Are they not gonna leave the Yuumi open? What's it gonna be? Lucian
comes
as well.
Through, so they managed to get the Corki and Lucian pairing. And a really big note we have to add in as well. Leviathan have subbed out Billy. Yunhao will come into play instead.
Oh, it's a new support, yeah.
And so Leviathan, big change in playstyle. They've left open a Yuumi, but they've managed to pick up two of the most highly contested picks in the Icon so far.
But, Brandon, the problem that Leviathan has right now, this is a Lucian Dragon lane, and this is a Corki mid lane. You can tell that right now, because normally when we see a Corki and a Lucian, you don't know. And oh my god, Nova coming through with the Zed in the mid lane. And of course, there is the Yuumi. Man, I feel bad for Leviathan right now. They have to deal with Long on the Yuumi again.
Long, you have to deal with Long with the Jax, with Yami with the Yuumi, and you also now have to deal with an additional threat with the Zed.
Oh, there it is, the Garen. Finally, Leviathan picks their power picks. This is what Android loves to play. It's the Garen. Don't put him on a Fiora, put him on those tanks. So it's going to be interesting to see how he faces up against Yizhe in that Baron lane. I am expecting a Renekton ban from Leviathan because we both know how good Yizhe is on the Renekton. And if there's one champion that can stop a Garen in the lane, it's a Renekton.
It is a shame though, you know, the Garen has been a pick that does decently well. It's been one of the responses against the Zed in the mid lane, but like you mentioned, the Corki and Lucian just show too much, honestly. Like, you just have a very clear idea of what's going to go where.
Exactly, I feel that's not a good thing for Leviathan, because like, now Nova picks the Zed, because they know it's probably going to be a Corki in the mid lane. Zed does very well into Corki. You know, it's just... I just don't, again, I don't like this draft from Leviathan right now. They're giving away so much. Sure, they're picking more power picks right now, but again, like, what do you do against the Jax and a Yuumi, especially when Long is playing it?
Final bans out from Leviathan. They're going to take away some of the safer AD carries. Stuff like the Varus removed here. Nova still have quite a few options they could go for. Have to run off the compositions. They recon the final ban here against Leviathan.
So, Grandin, what Leviathan has to do now is they have to pick single target damage champions. I don't want to see any Ziggs. I don't want to see any AoE champions.
All right.
I want to see single target, heavy single target. Even a Fiora. Like right now, a Fiora is like the best pick ever. These are the types of champions Leviathan needs to pick. Thresh. That's okay, right? Like you can catch a single target. The reason I'm saying this is because Long is going to be a Yuumi on top of him. He's going to be the one guy that you need to kill.
So Leviathan getting closer to being able to deal with Long, with the Thresh. I am a little concerned though. I'm still a little bit concerned, right? You have a good amount of takedown, you can still deal with one of them. But what happens when Yin comes online? He's in your backline, he's taking down the Corki, taking down the Lucian.
Exactly, right? Like, the one thing Leviathan wants to deal with is Long, but then you have 4 other players as well. We haven't even thought about that because Leviathan is not even able to get through one of the players. So, indeed, how are they going to be able to deal with 4 other players? And there is a Camille as well, just a lot of power picks from Nova right now.
A 4 protect 1 composition coming through.
Oh, and a Morgana too.
For Nova Esports.
Oh my god.
And a 5 target one on the side of Leviathan against Long. But the question is, can they deal with the other threats?
This is crazy. There's a Morgana as well. How the hell are you going to kill the hyper carry from Nova? It seems like Nova found their comfort pick. It seems like Nova found their comfort playstyle. And that's a Wukong from Leviathan.
AoE crowd control. We'll round off the final pick for Leviathan.
Brandon, sorry. I thought it was a Corki in the Baron lane because he swapped very, very late, but never mind.
Scared you for a second.
It scared me a lot.
Not sure how Corki does against Camille. I don't imagine very well. I don't imagine very well.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. But it needs a Corki in the mid lane. It's a Lucian in the Dragon lane, so you can see it coming, right? again, like, I don't think Leviatán has the tools to deal with Nova. We'll see, though, because you never know. But again, the Morgana and the Dragon, that was such a huge problem for Leviatán as well to deal with. You know, Remake just doing such a phenomenal job on that Morgana. He was up like 3-0 very, very early on in the game. On a Morgana, who is a late especially, because that's the #1 seed team. So let's see how the #1 seed team from Latin America does as we get into the game.
Well put there, Hells. Game number 2 between Nova Esports and Leviatán starts here, and Leviatán, no fancy invade this time around. None of that necessary. We're gonna go play a staple game and we see what happens.
They learned from their mistake, right?
Well, actually, a lane swap, so maybe.
A little fancy, but not too fancy, because you cannot be too fancy against Long. That was actually very good. Lumesh right there popped the vision, and now Leviatán knows exactly where Long is. So that could be a good start of the game, because when you know exactly where the enemy jungler is, and when you know exactly where the enemy jungler started, that could be a good thing for Leviatán.
Being able to know where they're going to come from and what to do in those positions are two separate things, though, right? So, despite now knowing what's going to happen on the side of Nova, can Leviatán accurately respond to this? And we actually see...
There it is. Yeah, you see that? That's what I talked about. Leviatán knows. I love this, because Leviatán knows that Long started all the way in the bottom of the jungle. Long did not start at the red buff, so that's why they're invading and taking a free blue buff.
Taking the blue buff away. Long trying to trade back, I believe. Making his way into the blue buff side of Leviatán as well. Isa walks over, trying to scout for some information. Takes a good amount of damage in the process.
I love this a lot, actually, from Leviatán. This is really good to see, because now Andy is going to have a lot of jungle to pick up. But then while I'm talking, you can see Nova compromises. Wow. They're just completely pushing out Androck off his wave. Androck is level 2, by the way, sitting on 900 gold.
Yeah, this is a little brutal right now. And Yen picks up level 4, starts to deal more damage. Lumesh does have the range advantage, but somehow it seems like Nien just does so much against that.
Look at Androck. Look at Androck. He's gonna get ganked right there. He's sitting on level 2 under his turret. He's just desperately trying to survive.
He picks up level 3, but gets hit by the exhaust, looking for the binding, but they don't quite need it. Still tanking up turret. Yami gets first blood over the Long.
Oh my god. And that's just Androck dying right there. And you cannot do anything. Leviatán tried to do the same thing, but unfortunately it didn't work too well for them. I mean, look at the turret. The turret is just dead for Leviatán.
And he still has flash. Yen starts to walk over towards the top end. He's looking for a targeted death mark onto the Thresh. Unha takes the shurikens, but will survive through it. Still too tanky for Nien to deal with.
Brandon, that's a 2-minute turret. Nova, so I
that was a 2-minute turret?
That's a 2-minute turret. I said that Leviatán did a good job, because it was a good invade, but Andy is behind 1k gold again. And Long was able to get a whole turret for his blue buff. I mean, come on, I'm just done with this team. They're just way too good. I mean, Long just knows every single time exactly what to do. He's up 1 kill. He's 1,000 gold ahead. He took a whole turret for Yize, and they're 2,000 gold ahead, just because of Long.
You come up with a new novelty, something to play against Nova, and then Nova show you why you don't do that. Why does the gameplay, the game plan that they've set forward is the best one? Because they know how to deal with all these other novelties.
And it's also the rotations, because Remake on that Morgana and Yami on the Yuumi, they were both in the bot lane. They lane swapped. They lane swapped just to make that lane a living hell for Androck right there. And as you can see, it worked, because Long ganked that one lane and they got the whole turret.
Wow. Androck can't catch a break here. Still level 4 now, while the rest of Nova Esports silently encroaching level 6 territory.
It's just lane swap after lane swap, because now it's Yize and Yami on the top lane, and we can see Nyan on the bot lane, and we can see Remake in the mid lane. It's just Nova is all over the place right now. Leviatán doesn't even know what they're dealing with right now.
Nova Esports will take control of this game once again. They did it last game, they're doing it now again. Andy trying to find his way back into the game. You got his first blue buff, but what happens now, Andy? What happens now?
I was being so optimistic for Leviatán, but it's like I forgot that they're dealing with Nova. I forgot that they're dealing with this powerhouse WRL team, which is Nova, who hasn't lost a single series yet. And it's just crazy to see these guys play. It just truly shows you a whole nother level of Wild Rift. And me as a caster, I'm just being thoroughly entertained by the gameplay of Nova right now.
And it is a treat to enjoy, right? Yeah. Being able to see how well Nova is able to execute against a team. You know, Leviatán coming to the competition, they're no slouches by any means, but against Nova demonstrates how to play good, effective Wild Rift.
Man, I have to message my friend. I have to message Keys to play some duo queue. I gotta play jungle, because I'm just getting motivated by Long right now. You know, but when I try it, it doesn't go as well, unfortunately. But seeing Long play jungle, it just makes you want to play jungle, because it just makes it look so easy. And there he goes again.
beautiful stun onto Kite, but Kite going down very quickly. Another kill going over the long. They're chasing after Yunha, looking for the strike. They jump on Death Sentence, landing onto long. But
Nothing.
Andy comes in, doesn't get anything done.
It doesn't matter. Andy comes in with his ultimate, long is full HP. Yize is nearly full HP. It's just Leviatán cannot do anything. And I honestly feel bad for Andy because when you're playing against this beast of a jungler, there is just nothing you can do. And yet again, granted, long, this time in 5 minutes, long nearly doubled the gold of Andy. It only took him 5 minutes this time.
Shuriken's not able to hit. Flash expended by Nian, and so you start to see Androck chasing after the kill onto the Zed, but the Living Shadow will come up soon. So you want to back away. The Rift Herald picked up in this time.
And that's the Rift Herald. Dragon is still up, right? We're gonna Nova is going to be going for turrets as well. They already took the first turret. Yet again, it's just Nova running away with every single objective in the game. And Leviatán is just lost right now. They have no idea what they're dealing with. Like, I feel when they got into the series, they were like, okay, you know, sure, it's a Chinese team, but we're the #1 seed. But this is child's game for Nova. They're just absolutely rolling over Leviatán right now.
Dragon up as well, and Nova holding off on picking up the Dragon. They're trying to pull Leviatán in. They know the Infernal Drake is too tempting and they have to send someone to check.
Oh yeah, but no one can. I mean, Andro cannot do anything in that situation. So let's talk about how Leviatán could potentially win this game, right?
All right.
They have Androck on the Garen. This is a champion that does true damage. If Leviatán is able to get long to a low amount of HP, Garen could finish him off with that ultimate. So regardless of a Yuumi, regardless of damage reduction, regardless of anything, Garen can finish off a target. So what it's all going to be about for Leviatán is getting long to a low amount of HP. But I mean, just as we say that, you can see, look at those bonks from long right here. But that's 3 against 1.
Androck. They do have the man advantage. The exhaust comes through, and they finally managed to take down Long. But after the top side, things aren't looking as great as Nova Esports. Dive, Lumesh facing off against Ita, facing off against Yami. Hashtag ultimate is going to be used. The major strength of the Corki is his mobility, and Ita escapes with his life with the dive.
Wow, come on. Yize should have died right there. But that was the example, right? Like, that is the one way Leviatán can kill Long. Get him to a low amount of HP and click on the Garen ultimate. That's it, right? Easier said than done, of course, because that was a full-on 3 versus 1. But in a team fight, like, if Leviatán is able to get a catch on Long, that's why I said they need the single target champions, right? Like, if they get a Thresh hook and then Lucian goes on to Long as well, Lucian has a Kraken Slayer too, so he's going to be able to deal that true damage and shred through the resists from Long. That's how they could potentially kill him. They need anti-healing as well. They just need so many different things. But if all the stars align properly, if every single thing goes well, Leviatán could take a fight.
Well, Hells, when you said it, somehow Leviatán got a kill, so I think you just have to keep saying it over and over again.
Oh yeah, I can just keep talking about it. Because exactly, they got that kill on Long right there. But, you know, Long is the type of player he understands, right? Like, sure, I made a mistake. It's not going to happen again.
Yeah, you punish him one time for it, and he's going to realize what he needs to get done the next this time around.
And Grandin, I just want to talk about an item right now, which is the... I cannot talk about an item because we have a dive. Whew! Man.
Lumesh, once again, almost dived here.
Nova is crazy. They're diving turret after turret, getting objective after objective. Just no chance for Leviatán to even do something. No chance for me to speak. It's just crazy. Like, they're going to keep extending right there. What is Lumesh going to be able to do right now? Yeah,
they're just going to have to watch as the tournament gets sieged up. The package is up, so maybe Leviatán want to pick that up so they can go and fight again.
Look at that damage. It's just Andy cannot do anything against Long. So an item that I wanted to talk about is the Istali Sea Jar. Right? Yunha has picked up the Istali Sea Jar. I actually asked someone who knows a lot about the game, which is Mozilla, the coach from Rix. Right. Why is everyone... Oh, but they get the catch!
Catch over onto Long, but the question is, can they finish off the kill quickly? Now the answer is going to be yes. Androck coming in clutch for the team. The Rift Tower was used in the mid side as well. They're trying to prevent him from getting his charge off, and will be able to do so. Smite comes down from Leviatán, a kill onto Long, and the Rift Tower taken down.
And that's why I love the Thresh pick. Oh, what is happening? But that's why I love the Thresh pick. That is the one way you can kill Long. But now, let's talk about the Istali Sea Jar. I asked Mozilla, the coach from Rix, why is everyone building this item? Is it really because of the passive? He gave me a very simple answer. No one cares about the passive. The item gives you so much health. So if everyone is asking right now, why is everyone going for the Istali Sea Jar? The simple reason is it just gives you so much health. It's the cheapest item in the game as well. I believe it's like 2,400 gold. And then the passive is like a little bonus. Sure, it can give you a little bit of vision, but that's why you see so many different supports pick up that Istali Sea Jar. Because Yunha on that Thresh is going to be incredibly tanky right now.
Yeah, so many stats, incredibly stat efficient. The C-Jar provides a lot in that regard, gives you a very early power spike. And so using it to great effect, Yunha has been quite a pivotal part of this game so far. He's trying to clear out the wave and will be able to do so. Leviathan looking close to a kill there.
Unfortunately, Yunha is unable to get a lot of catches, although right, the 2 good catches he got was on long on that Jax, but he's not been able to hit as many hooks as he should.
An aggressive move here as they flash in for the kill. Yunha taken down. You've taken down our Jax one too many times, and now it's our time to return the favor. A catch here on the Androck, but Androck has too much tenacity. There's no way to hold Garen in place.
Remake on that Morgana, man. He's hitting all those roots. He's hitting everything. Look at that damage from the Yuumi as well. That's a support who just dealt 40% of Kite's HP right there. Like it's nothing.
That's the power of AP Yuumi. You don't need to do anything else. There's no justification beyond. We're here to do damage. That's the way to play the game.
Oh my god, it's crazy. Like Nova Esports yet again giving no chance to Leviathan. Currently sitting on an 8k gold lead. The jungler yet again long. Double the amount of gold of Andy yet again. That's like, it's the craziest thing to say, but he does it twice in a row.
Silently farming up a storm before you've noticed it. Nova already at that 8,000, getting to that 9,000 gold lead very soon as well.
Yeah, and the next dragon is spawning as well. It's just Nova taking every single objective. We see Yize in the Baron lane as well. He's probably going to be applying some pressure. Actually, it seems like no. Again, this seems to be a thing with Nova. They're not really applying a lot of pressure on side lanes. They're always just grouping up and making sure they take every single objective in the game.
And that might work in their favor as they manage to spot out a couple of members in the mid lane. Kite's gonna have to start moving away. The Lost Chapter comes through. The Lucian goes down long. Looking for the entry angle again, but the counter-strike will expire before it can happen. Jumping onto Yunha, waiting out the flail long times it beautifully.
Man, you know which player Long reminds me of? Huiba.
Oh.
The jungler from DKG. He also used to play a Jax like this, but when he used to play, there was no Yuumi.
And now, that second option up just gives way too much power to Nova Esports. We see here, the Camille, Isa will take down his counterpart. Androck trying to flash away, but it is the tactical sweep that takes the kill in the end.
So yeah, like Long seems to be the new guy. This seems to be the new power jungler, right? Like look at this. He's full HP. He's killing everyone. As I said, like this feels like the new Huiba. Nova is playing around Long, and here he goes again.
The junglers in the WRL cannot be underestimated, cannot be talked about enough. Watch as they rush down Leviathan. 12 minutes in the game.
This is crazy. This is honestly crazy. The fact that the 3rd seed of China just demolishes the 1st seed of Latin America. This is just like, it feels even crazier than the Horizon Cup, because we did see some teams do decently against China, I guess, but now it's like everyone is just getting absolutely destroyed. And Long, I believe Long is trying to triple the amount of gold of Andy at this point, because he's beyond doubling the gold from the enemy jungle right now.
He's making it a mission to get triple. Man, we don't talk about that, Hells.
Oh
we don't talk
my
about
god.
that.
I honestly never even thought I would ever state this. The fact that a jungler is possibly gonna triple the amount of gold of the enemy jungler. It is possibly happening this game right now.
He would have to be full build.
Yeah, but he nearly has 4 items right now, and he has 1 item, Grandin. 1 item.
Difficult spot here for the Wukong. Nova Esports have Baron in their grasp, and Leviathan can only watch and try and pry it away. But here we go once again to get a catch on the Kite. Kite will be locked in place. Uses the hourglass, goes into stasis, dashes away in the nick of time. Package comes across. Lumex looking for the fight entry angle, but won't be able to get the lockdown onto Isa. Isa gets to get away. Long moves in with the counter strike. Now diving them again. Androck taken down by Nien.
Yunha did actually get the hook on Long, but the Morgana Black Shield denied it. So like, Nova has every tool at their disposal to deny Leviathan's engage. So even if you do catch out Long, he's still gonna have a Black Shield. Like, this game feels honestly unwinnable right now, unless you get a really lucky catch. As I said, all the stars have to align properly for Leviathan to win this game right now, because this is a Baron for Nova right now.
15,000 gold up over the counterparts. Nova Esports are looking for the Baron here, and also looking for the win angle as this game going very much in their favor.
So Brandon, let's actually quickly rate the Chinese team. So we have, first we have a Coca-Cola pop-up fire before we can do that, which is the very important team fight here for Nova Esports. Before that Baron, you can see there was a good stasis enchant, there was a great stasis enchant for Leviathan, but it doesn't matter. When you have Long with the Yumi, here you can see it, right? He goes in, stuns so many people. He has a black shield on him. Boom! Hook gets denied, so it doesn't even matter that he gets hooked. Long is gonna run them down, and his team is gonna allow him to do it. So, what I was talking about is, let's talk about the Chinese teams, right? Like, which Chinese team do you think is the best? Do you think FPX is gonna be the best one, or do you actually think Nova or JD Gaming or any of the other teams can be better?
I still feel like at this current point, I have my money on FPX, if that is the case.
We just haven't seen their full potential yet, I believe. We're gonna see JD Gaming as well later today. Like, all these teams just feel incredible.
Long unstoppable at this point. They get the catch once again on the Kai. Kai will go down to the combined efforts of Long, Remake, and Yami in the bottom side. Long starts to flash in, taking down Andy as well. A second kill going over to the Jax. A third kill going over to the Jax. They go into the base, ready to end it here. The Nexus is exposed and open. Leviathan go down. Nova with a quick 2-0.
GG easy. That was a 21,000 gold lead in 15 minutes. Yet again, one of the WRL teams absolutely humiliating a #1 seed. Europe was first, Latin America was next, and America is on, or North America is on the radar as well, Grandin.
Well, we'll have to see what Immortals have in store for us there, as Nova Esports do manage to give us the expected outcome, the 2-0 win. Leviathan have still some time here to try and regroup, recollect their thoughts, and figure out what needs to be done moving forward.
Leviathan didn't quite have what it took to beat out the WRL teams, but this is definitely not over for them. This is a double elimination, which means
get more kills, get more gold, and win the game.
Very much, I like your point there, TJ, about how you can surgically do a tower dive, because they basically did tower dives at the same time on the top side of the map by Leviathan. Not possible. And again, a little bit harder target in Camille compared to on the bottom side of the map against a Garen. Nova able to get that kill. That led to the turret, that led to the gold lead and everything else and beyond, as you saw the gold chart there. And now you see the damage charts. By far, it's Long leading the way.
Yeah, and so much of the way that they played around the Jax was really impressive to me, because Jax during the early game doesn't do a lot of damage. So what are you doing when you have to gank something like Garen? Well, you're using him as guaranteed CC. You're saying, okay, well, we can get this done.
Guaranteed.
Yeah!
Thank you. Rico looked at me on that one, so I had to go call it out. Do a pen flip. I'll wait for it. Come back.
Yeah, wait for the camera